We have a Nelcar Legend Driver, Ty Leclerc, just coming off an unfortunate rained-out race at Seekonk. Ty, you got us?
I got you.
Awesome. Great to have you on the show today. First thing I'd like to get to, I know it was an unfortunate...
Rain out at Lee.
Oh, why did I think it was Seekonk?
Because we talk Seekonk
We
all
do
the
talk.
time.
Sorry. Rain out at Lee. Thank you, Paul, for the correction.
It's rained everywhere.
It does. But please tell us about your weekend, whether unfortunate or not. I would love to hear how it went for you.
Yeah, we were coming off a win at Star, so we were well prepared and hoping that we could wrap it up this weekend. We were only 4 points back, so it was definitely going to be close. I had the confidence going in, but I guess you can't help with it, Mother Nature. But it is what it is. We still come home second. Can't complain. Got our first 2 wins, so it's not a bad season at all.
For your first 2 wins now, how does can you take something from an unfortunate end to a season and be able to build on it for next?
Well, absolutely, because those first 2 wins are just, for me, they were huge motivation boosters. Especially coming from somebody who hasn't raced that long, it was definitely a sign of like, okay, I really can do this, and I do really have a shot at the championship and getting more wins down the road. But we're gonna move on to next year. Like I said, I have that confidence now that we can win, and we are definitely competitive. So yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna improve, and we're gonna just keep on chugging.
Hey Ty, how are you?
I'm good.
So I know a little bit more about your season than these other guys here, but you had some ups and downs, man. You wrecked a car at Thompson like I don't think I've ever seen a Legend car get wrecked before. And then what was it up at White Mountain? You got wrecked pretty bad too. Tell everybody about how much work you guys had to do just to get that car to the track every week like you did.
Yeah, that Thompson race was a absolute heartbreak. We had just bought that car the Tuesday before the race, and we had the confidence going in. We were just coming off the win at Monadnock, so we were like, nobody had ever run Thompson before. It was a new thing, so nobody really knew what was going to happen. I got to go out that first practice. I loved it. It was a fun track.
The road course, right?
The road course, yeah. All I know is the throttle hung. I'm not really sure how. I think it's when I shifted and I blipped off the throttle and got back on it, the cable got caught on the little threaded transition piece through the firewall. And when I lifted off to turn into the next corner, it was just stuck there. So, that was definitely a wild ride. I was hurting for probably the next week. That car was a total throwaway, but we still had our normal Nelcar Tour car. So we just put our focus to that. We were still in the championship lead at the time, and we kind of just put that to the side, forgot about it, and we just kept going with Nelcar.
That is crazy. Like Paul was doing hand signals, telling me how bad the crash was. That sounds horrifying.
You know the blunt end of the barrier?
Yes.
That's the end he drove into.
Oh my goodness! I'm glad.
And I saw a video of it, and his aunt was taking the video, and all of a sudden she goes, "Oh my God!" And then she's running, and the camera's still going, and there's pots flying in the air. It was crazy. I've never seen a Legend hit like that.
Oh, I'm glad you're talking to us today, Ty. That sounds quite horrifying.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Ty, this is Jim. First of all, I'm just glad you're okay. First, tell us a little bit about your interest in racing, where it started. I understand it's, I'm sure like most people in racing I speak to, what I like is kind of the backstory. Who got you interested in racing? Is it a family team? And who in your family's involved? And things like that. Share out, who's helped you so far along the way.
Yeah, so I'm a third-generation driver. My grandfather drove in the 70s and 80s. Obviously, I wasn't around for that, but I was essentially born at the racetrack. My dad started racing about a year before I was born in micro sprints at Whip City. So that was I don't really remember any of it, but I do remember when he got into the Nemo Lights. He started doing that, and that's really when I started to gain some interest in it. Mm-hmm. I started to be around it a lot more. I started to work on the cars a lot more. And I did. I enjoyed being around it, and it came to the point where he was starting to get out of it, and he kind of threw the question up in the air to me as if I wanted to drive, and, you know, me being the kid that I am and wanted to see what it was like, of course I said yes. So we went out 4 years ago now, and bought a potentially junk legend car for $4,200. And it got me going for the first couple practices at Seekonk. It needed a little bit of fixing, but it was it was something. But no, we had a first season at Seekonk. It went surprisingly well for a rookie year. And then after that, we kind of decided we wanted to go around the Nelcar stuff. We were a little bit more suited to the touring series at the time, and yeah, I mean it's really a whole family operation. Me and my dad and my mom are the main parts of it. Obviously, we have the whole family that tags along. My grandma, my aunt, my grandpa, my little sister, and they're always supportive of me. And
Ty, don't forget don't forget your cousin. He's a big, huge fan of yours. He's a big fan of yours.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, to me, I think that's what makes racing so enjoyable. It's usually a family thing. Fathers, sons, mothers, sisters, family members getting together in the garage. To me, I think the stuff that you're going to look back when you have the most fun is when you're in the winter, hey, maybe after the holidays, it's cold, you're in the garage, you start working on that car. And in New England, we start counting the days down to spring training, and then we look forward to the racing season, come April. So to me, that's a lot of the fun. And who are some of the other people that have helped, say you, your dad, your grandfather? You've had some sponsors or just some people maybe in racing that have, given you parts to help you get started. Maybe they gave you a spare engine, some suspension parts, maybe just some setups to get you going. If you'd like to share some of the names of the people, if you'd like, who have helped you along the way also.
Yeah, I got to say a huge thank you to Nicholas Fuller Racing. He really got us started. He raced with my dad back when he raced a late model, and when we finally got into legend cars, he was essentially our first contact. He's given us setup information for every track. He's lended us springs if we needed them, and normally he's at all the Nelcar races with us, so he's a huge help to us. I got to say a huge thank you to Janie Welding and Fabrication. They're a huge help to us, as well as B&M Maintenance.
Well, what it is, that's why I always like to give those people a chance to shout out. I don't think a lot of people understand what a true team sport automobile racing really is. And if you don't have that help, on Wednesday, Thursday night, getting a car together, I don't care how good a driver you are. If the car isn't right, you can't drive it. You could be driving fantastic, and if the pit crew lets you down or has a bad pit stop, and people who are sharing some ideas and knowledge with you, it's truly a team sport, and you're the quarterback. But that's what's so interesting to me, and I'm glad that it's the family's involvement. And you gave a big shout-out to them. Thank you.
Yeah.
Ty, one more question before we let you get out of here. Being a family team and you're a third-generation driver, does it seem to come a little easier, younger? You're a young person. It's younger in your career. What you said you started 4 years ago. Is it easier to adapt to the style of racing because you've been there your entire life rather than just jumping right into it because you thought it'd be fun to do?
Yeah, because my dad was a huge help with kind of like getting me to learn like the racecraft and what I was truly doing wrong. And he's able to he's never driven a Legend before, but he's able to give me those pointers that I can kind of translate in my head, like, okay, this is what I need to do in the Legend car. But, yeah, between that, I played iRacing a lot before I got into the rail car. That was a huge help, especially with the kind of figuring out how to drive with people. I mean, anybody can drive by themselves, but when you get with people, it's definitely challenging.
Without a doubt. All right,
Hey,
go ahead, Paul.
Ty, one last thing I want to tell you is, having watched you develop the last couple of years, you're really talented, and I just want you to know that we're really proud of what you do. And we're glad you can be on the show, from being a co-host of the show. But just on a personal level, I think if you keep working hard and putting the effort you've done, you're going to continue to have success. So keep up the good work, buddy.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Ty, for being on our show. Great little interview there. Hopefully on the event where you don't get rained out, you can show them why you deserve to be the champion this year.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem at all, bud.